Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Harlequin here, and welcome back to another episode of HarlequinCasts Dawn of War 2 Retribution. I don't know why I said that in a weird voice. I apologize. So anyhow, I was looking back through all of my replays and the fun games that we've had so far, and realized that there was one game mode that has been sorely lacking from that list, and that is, of course, the free-for-all game mode. Some of you may remember I recently had a chat in the Dev Chat #1 episode. If you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and take a look at it with Mr. Clint Tasker, who is from Relic, and he was explaining how the Calderis Refinery map was originally designed by him as a way to sort of promote and sell the Relic designers on the concept of using free-for-all in this game. So I thought that would be a very fitting map to look at for the first time, and we've got a great game here that I pulled directly from GameReplays.org. If any of you don't visit that site, terrific site. So let's go ahead and take a look around the map right now, and I'm going to assume you guys have never played any free-for-alls before, and just take a look at what's distinct about it. So you'll notice right away the entire scoreboard screen is different. Basically, instead of starting at a fixed number and trying to decay your opponents, in free-for-all, everybody starts at 0 and tries to climb up to the number specified at the top, which in this game is 1250. Pretty much, unlike 1 versus 1 or whatever, where you have to have a majority control over victory points, in free-for-all, any number of victory points will award you victory points, and therefore you just need to hold on to enough to get you up to 1250. So we'll notice right away that some of these victory points have a victory point power supply next to them. That kind of adds an interesting feature here, because victory points in free-for-all act sort of like a fourth resource. If you want to deny your opponent that resource, you can either try to capture their victory point, or you can destroy the power supply, which forces them to have to spend requisition to repair it, and it'll be a while before anybody can capture it again. So that's kind of the deal here. And taking a look around the map, you can see that spread out radially, we have all of these different starting positions. Now, some of them you will see in 1 versus 1, some in 2 versus 2, and then all the rest kind of come on into play as this is a free-for-all map. So let's take a look around the map real quick and just get used to all of these players. Since there are a lot of them, we'll just have to take a quick peek and get everybody introduced here. So over here on the leftmost side, as these bright pink looking Imperial Guardsmen, we have Scud playing as the Inquisitor. Just to their south, it's going to be Mr. Shackhouse playing as the Tech Marine. He is going to be showing up as yellow on the minimap. To his right, we have playing as the Lord General, we have Jacques Ainsley for the Imperial Guard. He's showing up as kind of a darker purple. To his right, we have as a purple player, showing up as blue on the map, we have Kitten von Catsworth playing as the Tech Marine as well. Green, just to Kitten von Catsworth's north, is going to be the Force Commander, commanded by Mr. Gurute, www.gurute. And last but not least, we have Mr. Woog, who's going to be the 1 Orc Commander in this game, playing as the Commando Knob. So it looks like we have got 3 Space Marines, 2 Imperial Guard, and 1 Orc player. Let's get this game started here. So, as with many multiplayer games, it's going to be impossible for me to keep up on all of the action, but I will be kind of hopping around trying to catch the interesting points right now. We can see, right away you can see who's kind of lacking in their build orders here. It looks like Gurute and Scud both opted not to build anything right away. Mr. Woog is already well on his way to 1 Shooter Boy squad, perhaps going for another one. We do see normal tactical Marines coming out of all of the Space Marines. There is a tactical Marine for Gurute, and it looks like Jacques is also on the ball here. He went and got a Sentinel out first and is getting a 2nd Guardsman squad. So I don't know all of the skill levels of all the players in here. I'd imagine that since it's free-for-all, there's going to be some variance there. And already you can see some people are kind of lagging behind a little bit, but that's fine. So looks like Kitten von Catsworth is right out here having a nice little skirmish with Jacques Ainsley, Mr. Purple, with his Imperial Guard Sentinel. You can see right away that Jacques opted to get a victory point very quickly and is already up to 9 points there. Looks like now that Kitten von Catsworth is picking up a victory point as well. She's going to start making the climb there. And we'll take a look around and see what else everybody is doing here. So it's pretty natural here. Like I said, every player has got 1 victory point in front of their base. Here we can see Gurute playing as the Green Marines. Again, I'll refer to their color as it is on the mini-map, because that's what's above here, rather than their armor color, because he's actually the blue one, but yeah, that's really confusing. More over here on the left-hand side, we can see that already it looks like Shackhouse running into some trouble here. Shackhouse is kind of picking a fight with both of his neighbors at the same time. We can see him engaged towards the north with Scud's Imperial Guard. Scud looks like he was building multi-laser turrets out here, and the Inquisitor was kind of hacking away at some of the troops down there. But meanwhile, he's also got, it looks like, Jackie already is trying to expand his empire and is capping the victory point directly in front of Shackhouse's base. So Shackhouse sitting at 0 victory points. Jackie about to have 2 victory points. Jackie even now moving out to the center with his Lord General and capping a quick 3rd as well. You can see here that it looks like Kitten von Catsworth is being forced to retreat away. Giving a couple of warning shots here with these scouts, but there's quite a presence in the center of the map right now. So 2 victory points right now for Jackie, 3, there we go, whereas everybody else has either 1 or 0. It looks like poor Scud has opted not to cap any victory points, not even the one in front of her own base. That is a shame. Putting up some curious multi-laser turrets. Looks like kind of defending the front of their base. I don't know. Like I said, I don't expect that everybody playing this free-for-all mode is the best player we've ever seen, but it definitely makes for some entertaining games to have just kind of like a random player. Because as you'd imagine, and as anyone who's played a lot of free-for-all knows, any random player can just come in at any point and screw up your carefully laid plan. So having even just some random oddly behaving players can oftentimes add a lot to it. We can see right now that Shackhouse has upgraded his tactical marines to have flamethrowers, and they are engaging right now with Jacquie's Imperial Guard. Imperial Guard just kind of standing strong and firing away like crazy here. It looks like this this one flamethrower tactical marine squad is taking quite a few casualties and is going to have to retreat right now. He is retreating away. It looks like he's going to be okay there, but the Lord General is definitely kind of getting involved in that. Now we just have these tactical marines standing in the center right now, side by side with their tech marine, but just taking a lot of fire here. Although we do have some scouts up there as well, but kind of just constant firing happening right here. Nobody's really moving, just kind of engaged in melee. It looks like now Shackhouse has had enough and he is retreating away. So once again, to the victor go the spoilers. Jackie is thoroughly trouncing his opponent at this point in the game. And by his opponent, I mean his neighbor, the guy next to you. So looks like Kitten von Catsworth now moving out with her tech marine. Let's see where else Kitten's at. Kitten here has got some tactical marines up towards the north right now, engaged, just kind of firing back and forth here with Gurute's tactical marines. Gurute is green on the minimap, has the force commander, and you can see Gurute has got a Devastator marine squad out there right now. Kitten has got a scout squad who is now being set upon by this Devastator marine squad. They are upgrading to advanced targeting as we speak, but Kitten's going to have to get out of there for the time being and leave Gurute alone. So it does look like, just kind of glancing up here at the scores at the top right now, still 2 victory points for Purple, who is our friendly Imperial Guard. Taking a look up here towards the north, we can see that it looks like Mr. Woog, who is sitting at 1 victory point, 110, basically tied evenly with green Gurute. Mr. Woog is just starting to bump into some of Scud's troops right now. Scud's Inquisitor is moving out. Scud is honestly not building anything and is probably just going to get massacred at this point. Scud seems to be, way far behind in the curve right now. A lot of money lined up, not really building any units, or perhaps just losing a lot of units. You can see losing that multi-laser turret. So I'm not going to count Scud for too much this game, but like I said, people can just kind of randomly show up and make a mess out of things. Let's take a look around right now and see how that Devastator's doing. It looks like Gurute is content to just sit on his 1 victory point right now. Kitten is kind of skirmishing around with her neighbor a little bit, kind of fighting over this power supply. Gurute, it looks like he came out here just to kind of do some gen bashing, now getting shot to pieces and going to have to retreat. Kitten, by the way, is leading the curve right now with tech, as she is well on her way to tier 2. Jackie is the only other person with any aspirations to have technology out there. We can see it looks like Shackhouse, apparently frustrated by the fact that he could not have his own victory point, moved on over and took his neighbor's victory point as well. So Scud now, since Scud wasn't opting to even capture that victory point, I guess it's okay that Shackhouse decided to grab it instead. Shackhouse doing a pretty good job here fighting away, taking a single casualty right there. The Tech Marine right now moving in, backing up with both of his tactical Marine squads. And it looks like Scud is just completely out of there for the time being. Scud has built a Sentinel and is not doing anything with it. More towards the south, we can see Jackie right now is definitely well in the lead. 3 victory points under his control. He has his own, his neighbor's, and the coveted central victory point. Note the central one does not have a power generator associated with it. And he's got a fairly good army, and he's got a Chimera lined up. So Jackie definitely is in the lead right now. Or at the very least, he's an experienced player. He knows what he's doing. He has a fairly good-looking build order, and he's being nice and aggressive out there. successfully fighting with a couple different opponents. A little bit of a whiff with a hand grenade there by Shackhouse, but Shackhouse is definitely sick and tired of dealing with all of Jackie's early game pressure. You can see these flamethrowers now coming in, putting quite a lot of damage onto all of these weak little fluffy Imperial Guard. Now even going to go for some gen bashing, and you can see that all of that focus fire combined with the flamethrowers doing quite a bit of damage, popping those generators which way. Looking up here right now, we can see that I think what's going on here is there's a little bit of fighting going on right now. Gurute, the green the green Space Marine, was kind of having a bit of a fight here with Mr. Woog. Looks like Mr. Woog lost his commando, Gurute lost his force commander, and Kitten von Catsworth was just kind of hanging in here, sniping away at everybody, and is now cleaning up on those spoils there. Capturing her neighbor's victory point. The Inquisitor now finally realizing that the point of this game is to have victory points, tired of sitting at 0 victory points this entire game, is grabbing the central victory point. So that's all well and good. And now we see a little bit of gutsy Chimera play as Jackie is just driving this Chimera straight into the base of Shackhouse. Looks like he's just kind of trying to do some distracting, perhaps. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Jackie is distracting away right now, sitting in front of Shackhouse's base while he decides to wreck all of Shackhouse's generators. Shackhouse is going to have to do something. Hopefully he will upgrade some missile launchers. He is upgrading missile launchers, but it looks like he is not quite done right now researching Tier 2. His Tier 2 is only 3/4 of the way done. So that's going to be a while before he can drive away that Chimera. Looking at the center of the map right now, we can see that the Inquisitor from Scud is getting a little bit antsy and is now trying to pick a fight with Kitten von Catsworth Tactical Marines. And all of these guardsmen in the center are equipped with flamethrowers, just holding on to that one central victory point. And we even have a little bit of hateful capping going on right now as Mr. Woog destroys the power supply for that one. Taking a look around, we can see the Chimera has stuck it out, has just been fighting away at all of these Marines here, just trapped in his base. And meanwhile, it looks like Jackie's Imperial Guard were able to just wreck all of the generators here from Shackhouse. So definitely having some hate towards his neighbor. And still in the lead, Jackie is really in control of the situation, making sure to repair away this Chimera right now. And now we can see there is a missile launcher on the field for these Tactical Marines. Tactical Marines taking some shots at that Chimera. The Chimera just totally trapping Shack in his base right now. Shack is not looking too good. Definitely going to be having some trouble bouncing back. I kind of would like to see Jackie spread out a little bit more and cap some of these points instead. Just to take care of it, but it looks like no! He's going to go ahead and call in a creeping Basilisk barrage directly on top of Shack's base, but luckily, it looks like Shackhouse was able to retreat all of his troops away from the front and avoid a lot of damage there. And now, I think Jackie's had enough of that and getting out of there. And what the hell is going on here? Kitten von Catsworth, who's really just been kind of bothering nobody other than Gurute for the most part, looks like she sat back in her base, teched all the way up to Tier 3, and is now buying a Land Raider. So going all the way up to the big fat Tier 3 vehicles there. We'll have to see what's going to go on with that. In the meanwhile, we do have a little bit of infiltrated Slugga Boys now moving out. Mr. Woog definitely has a nice sizable army right now. He's got Tank Busters, 2 Shooter Boys, and the Slugga Boys, so he's not going to have any trouble with Jackie.